Hello and welcome to Leo season. So Leo season, of course, comes after Cancer season, and Cancer season's been pretty intense this year because not only do we have the sun in Cancer, but we also have had a very, very powerful Mercury transit through Cancer that then retrograded in Cancer, and then he's going direct again tomorrow in Cancer until early weeks of August. And so this has been a really long transit for Mercury. And so during this time, with all of this Cancerian energy, it's been a real a challenge for a lot of people, but also quite a good challenge as well as a negative challenge. It depends how you look at it and what you did with it. But it's been a time to go within and really look at your emotional inner world. And so within all that, we learned more about our intuition. We learned more about how we treat ourselves. We learned more about self-care. We learned more about any issues we might have as mothers or mothering or being mothered or whatever it might be that comes into that mothering line that Cancerian energy very much connects itself to. And we got to really look at where we hold ourselves back. So now that we've stepped into Leo season, what comes with Leo season is a huge dose of confidence, optimism, uplift, and just with Leo energy, you feel like you can do all sorts of things. Best case scenario, you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Worst case scenario, you've just got a little bit more confidence than what you usually have. So it can't help but be good energy. And so this is the time during the influence of Leo to really step up in some way or step out in some way. So because of the retrograde, we never launch anything or try and get anything off the ground when it's retrograde, when a planet's in retrograde. And so, well, sorry, when Mercury's in retrograde, other planets too, but particularly Mercury. So now that Mercury's going direct and we've got this Leo energy, there couldn't really be in many ways a better time this year to launch any project, any mission, anything you want to get off the ground. That conversation you've been too scared to have, that product you've been waiting to launch, that business you've been waiting to invest in, whatever it might be. Now is the time to really look at doing that because you have the confidence to get it over the line. And I often sort of think of Leo energy as the fake it till you make it energy because it carries so much confidence and so much optimism that you can actually use that energy to push yourself through something that you might have a lot of doubt about and really not believe in yourself at all, but you can just kind of pretend. And the beautiful thing with the human body and with the human mind is that we can pretend and it can then decide that this is real and this is true. So this is a good thing if you're trying to accomplish something that's been challenging you. It's not such a good thing if you're telling yourself lies, but it's a good thing if to really push yourself forward in some way. So while we're in Leo season, we've got this extra optimism, this extra dose of confidence in all that we do, and also extra dose of creativity. And it's a time where you will feel a lot more like being social. You'll want to be around people. You'll want to be, out there sharing stuff, learning stuff, and accumulating information, all so that you can actually stand up more as an individual and as a leader. So, of course, there's the shadow of Leo. So what we have to be a little bit careful of is the ego, because the ego loves, no one can develop the ego better than a Leo. I mean, and so we've got to be careful that in our efforts to put ourselves first and work on what we want and put what we want out there, that we don't become very egotistical or very driven in the sense that it's all about you and only what you want and what you're going to achieve and what your title's going to be and how much money you're going to earn. That's not what it's about. It's more about doing things for the highest good of all concerned. And so with this Leo energy, that could be a little bit of a challenge for some people, especially if you do suddenly get that big opportunity you've been waiting for to put yourself out there and be in the public eye and have all those dreams come true that you've been wanting. You've just got to keep that ego in check to make sure that whatever you're doing is going to not only benefit you, but benefit everybody around you too. Because Leo is the energy of the leader. And if you're going to be a leader, you can't lead only looking for after your own needs and your own desires. We've seen enough of that in the world, in the patriarchal world that we've been living in for far too long, to know that that does not work. It does not serve everybody, and it certainly does not serve the highest good. So this is going to be a bit of a test for humanity as we're moving out of this old 3D energy and into the 5D energy, is what are you going to hold on to from that old 3D world that, Leo in many ways loves the old 3D world because it's a top-down feeding, and Leo quite enjoys being on the top and not so much being on the bottom. And so, we're moving into this sort of horizontal feeding, living way of being where everything's going to become a lot more equal. And so with this Leo energy, it's about stepping up and not playing small anymore. So if there's any part of your life or anywhere in your life you feel like you haven't spoken up enough, or you could step up more, or you're not being appreciated enough for what you bring to the table, this is the time to speak up about it and to actually bring into your life what you want for your life. We're in the days of the spiritual warrior, and we're also in the great time of sovereignty this year. And so this alignment between what you want and what you produce outside of yourself must be aligned with who you are on the inside. You can't be going out there pretending to be, the greatest leader the world's ever seen, or whatever it might be, and inside cringing and hiding and not wanting to be seen and wanting to run away. That's out of alignment, and therefore the end result, what you're trying to put out there, will either be very short-lived or it won't even come to pass at all. So just be aware, we need that sustainability. We need those concrete foundations that we can create from. So while Leo, the sun is in Leo for Leo season, it's a great time also to socialize, to put yourself out there, meet new people, have new experiences, and most importantly, get in touch with the playful side of yourself. That part of you that, while the sun was in Cancer, was all sort of, moaning and complaining and feeling sorry for itself. Now that it's in Leo, it's like, it's time to dance, it's time to play, it's time to put yourself out there and have some fun. So enjoy this Leo season, and I'll be back to talk to you again soon. Bye.